How to probate an estate without an attorney. So a question commonly that I get is, why do I need an attorney to probate an estate? Well, the main reason why an attorney is needed through the probate process is anytime someone is filing paperwork within the court. Courts generally will allow you to represent yourself. I mean, it's okay. I mean, if you're a defendant and you want to represent yourself and you waive your right to an attorney, courts are going to let you do that. However, courts are not going to let you represent a third party unless you have proper licensing. And so an estate is considered a third party. It's another entity. You can't represent a corporation in a court of law unless you have a law license. You can't represent your spouse in a court of law if you don't have a law license. The only person that you're allowed to represent is yourself. So how do you avoid having to hire an attorney through a probate? Well, it might not always be possible. One way a court sometimes will allow. So some courts will allow, if you are doing what's referred to as a muniment of title in the state of Texas, and you're going to probate the estate through a muniment of title, and you are the sole beneficiary, there are some judges in Texas that will allow you to probate the estate by yourself because you are the only one that's being affected there. There's no creation of any administration. So there's no estate being created. So, well, what if you have different types of property? Is there a way to avoid probating estate if that's the situation? Well, there's two types of property that I want you to understand because there's different ways to avoid probating estate after someone passes away. First is personal property. Personal property is things that are not fixed. It's tangible and intangible property that's not fixed to any location. So for example, you take jewelry, a car. These things are considered personal properties. And most of the time, if all the beneficiaries who would inherit someone's estate agree to distribute personal property, there's no need to probate an estate. Also in there's a qualification that there are no creditors to the estate. If that's the scenario, then everybody can just get together and distribute those things as if there is no issues that would arise. The biggest issue is titled property. Of course, that would be like a car, or maybe it's a painting or something like that. A third party may require you to probate an estate to transfer a vehicle. However, most DMVs will accept what's called an heirship affidavit. That is an affidavit laying out who the beneficiaries are, and as long as you can prove to the DMV that these are the beneficiaries, a car can be transferred without having to go through formal probate with the court. So that's personal property. Personal property, the secret with it is, as long as everybody agrees, no issues to the probate. Now, on the other hand, how can you avoid a probate without having to hire an attorney with a real property? Now, this gets tricky. The secret to there is talk to a title company. If a title company is willing to insure the property without a probate, then you're going to be able to sell the property with no issues. And sometimes title companies will do this as long as they have heirship affidavit or some documentation proving ownership of a property that institution feels comfortable enough to accept. So I've created this webpage in order for people, if they want to submit to my title company, what would we accept if someone's passed away, and would we accept and insure a property that you're trying to pass? Go ahead and fill it out, and we'll get back to you with what we'll require. Now, I can't guarantee all the time that we won't require a probate. A lot of times we do require a probate, but you can fill this out and we'll let you know.